Hello and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus, spokesman and advocate of basic human rights for all people. Such a glorious day to be able to get up and share a word with you. It's a beautiful day. It's Sunday, first Sunday of the month of November. And it is 2 days before the election of your next representatives throughout this political process, of which I have asked you to include me as one, as a write-in senator from the state of Minnesota. And yet, while it's snowing outside and such a gracious day, there's no doubt in my mind that the message that I have for you should be a wonderful message. However, how you receive it, it depends upon how you want to. Now, in my preparation for this, I have some notes that I'd like to refer to in my presentation, and I would like to read them. It starts out like this. God, speaking on a Sunday, sent me to offer to the people of who? The people of, let me say that again. God sent me to offer to the people the love of God, peace, prosperity, and happiness, and fulfillment of dreams. But when I went before the people, I was seen as a black man, no money, little education. My ambition brought out their racism, their bigotry, their hatred. I and my representation of God was ignored. You know how that goes. I think you know they said God is not allowed here. Well, God sent Trump. Now, I've heard this before. A lot of folks took issue with it, but truth of the matter is God's in control of all this stuff. So God sent Trump, a white man, rich, and a liar. And the people ate it like cake. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have never seen a bully not fail. Even if, I don't care how bad he is, how bold he is, if God's people stand. And when I say stand, I'm not talking about putting up your fist. I'm not talking about getting your stick. I'm not talking about throwing rocks for rocks or bullets for rocks. I'm talking about standing up for what is right. Evil stands for what evil, or should I say evil stands for whatever evil it takes to have its way. Thus, shoot people with rocks. And you say they probably won't do that, but remember, they did it to the natives. The natives had sticks and rocks, and they were brought down with bullets and these Gatling guns. So don't say they won't do it. They did it in Africa. They did it in Asia. They did it in Italy. They did it in Russia. And they do it all over the world. They'll take you down in a minute. So, ladies and gentlemen, why is this such a good day for me to be talking to you? I want to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I gave my life up. God gave it back. And he sent me on a mission. First, I was trained and prepared. What God uses, he qualifies. Don't send them to a seminary. That's where the church sends its folks. God trains his people. He prepares them. I was sent throughout the country and a few foreign countries to test the commitment of the people of God. I found the people believed they care about God, but they don't know God. They know a story that they read, a story they were told, or even studied. But the campaign election of 2016 was America's test. Campaign of 2016 was America's test. Politics, ladies and gentlemen, is not about God in the sense that God is trying to give you something to make your dreams come true. No. What politics is about, it is the people taking action they think is appropriate, they label it politics, to do their thing and not God's thing. And somewhere down the line, they split it up to two different sides, one Republican, one Democrat, and then others stand as independents. Republicans say, my view of the world, and it's the best thing for the world. Democrats say, my view of the world, and it's the best thing for the world. And Democrats just, independents fall there in between. And the result of it is all of the mess that happens in the world. Well, it's designed to do that. It wasn't designed to do anything other than that. There's only one thing that could change that. And that is for a power or for someone to care for Democrats, Republicans, and independents the same. Like children, like your children. Give them the best. And that can't come from people who separate themselves from one another as being the best. There's only one that's best, and that's the parent, God. So the election of 2016, you were allowed to have put before you as possible representation, evil. Some call it evil Republican, Trump. Some call it evil Clinton, Democrats. But it was evil nonetheless. And what did the people say? I'm going to the polls to vote for my lesser of the two evils. Did being a Christian or a child of God or anything give you any second thoughts? Well, if it did, most of those second thoughters went straight to the polls and voted for their lesser of two evils. Now, that was a test. But the reason that I mention this to you, ladies and gentlemen, is because right now, you failed the test by choosing evil as your representation. Now evil is trying to bring it together to really tear you down. And it's amazing. 2018 is a part of the test as well. So far we see all the hate, all the racism and evil exposed, but no God on either side. No God on either side. God is for all the people. The devil just needs some. And so, if you are a Republican, a Democrat, an Independent, or any of those things, what you're actually saying is that your perspective for the people is better than that of God. Or you're not saying anything except you maybe don't even believe in God. But let's say you don't believe in God and you do, something happens, you happen to start believing in something you never believed in before. You start believing in God for some strange reason, you might not even know why. But if it's God, it's presented to you in the same convincing way as it is to anybody else. And you might be a Republican. But if you say yes to God, you come out from amongst the Republicans. Let the Republicans represent man. You represent God and God's relationship to man. Oh, same thing for the Democrats. You might be a Democrat. But if you have that same relationship with connection, and you say, well, I choose God, you stepping away from the Democratic Party. You can't stand with the Democratic Party and with God. No, my friends. Just like you can't stand with the Democrats and with the Republicans. And this independent who says I can stand with them both, you better watch him close. Because for one reason or another, he doesn't know it, but he thinks he can do that because he or she is right. I vote for, if the Democrats are right, I'm with them. If the Republicans are right, I'm with them. My message to tell you today, brother, none of them are right. Why? Because they are for what they believe in. And even you, for what you believe in, and not what God believes in. God believes in peace for every human being on earth. Prosperity for every human being on earth. Joy of life for every human being on earth. An opportunity for your dreams to come true for everybody on earth. Republicans, you care about that? You got a plan? Democrats, you care about that? You got a plan? Independents, you care about that? You got a plan? Nah. But you still claim to be, some of you, led and filled with God's Spirit. See, that's what I mean by deception. That's what I mean by deception. Now, this is what God did to me. As I said, he qualified me. I was sent across foreign countries. Some of them. I went through several. And I got a chance to mingle with the people and have conversations with people. Coming back into this country, I was given the opportunity to travel through many of these states, on the streets, in our public arenas, to carry the forth that I'm sharing here today. God's love is wonderful. I even ran for president 3 times. What did I talk about? Peace, prosperity, joy, by God and God only. Did any Christians recognize that message? No. He's black, he's poor. So they were looking at me. The message didn't matter. And so that when they're sitting up there in the Republican Party, Democratic Party, and any other kind of party, they're not looking at righteousness. They're just looking at having their way. Having their way. Democrats say, we can take care of all of y'all. You know, that's a lie. They just got through Barack Obama. Then you say, well, we had Republicans out there preventing them. Okay. Now we got Donald Trump. He said, I'm the answer to all your problems. You know darn well Donald Trump is not the answer to your problems. So rather than even think about God, you go back into your boardrooms. You go back into your think tank rooms and start coming up how you can be more Democratic, how you can be more Republican, how you can be more independent. And God is nowhere in there. But I must say that each of these parties touch on goodness. Each of them do some good. That's the trick. They do some good. But they never do the good. And so while they do some good, they start thinking that this is a sign of their approval by God. That God is with them. No, my friends. That's the trick to keep you where you are. Why do you think they say we throwing God out? Especially in the United States. We throwing God out of schools. We throwing God out of everywhere he is. Why? Because where God is, the devil, where God isn't, the devil wins. Now, we're in a crisis situation. While I went across the country, what was God telling me to tell those people? To tell them about the peace, to tell them about the prosperity, and how far they were from it. Nobody cared. Running for United States Senator, running for governor, running for senator, running for mayors. You think the Christians care? They're going to pack up in the church today. How much they love God through one another. And they can't stand the rest. Now they get so mad with me. They get mad with me because I know you can't serve 2 masters. I learned as a young man, a long time ago, first of all, that God ain't no fake. The God you read about, the God that you have heard stories about, the God that you call yourself studying about, if you haven't married that God, you are not in a relationship with God. You have heard it said that to know God means you might have to turn your back on everyone you know. You might have to turn your back on your children. You might have to turn your back on your mother. You might have to turn your back on your father. You might have to turn your back on your wife, your husband. If they disagree with what is proper, if they disagree with the love of God, then you can't. I mean, you can love them, but you can't walk with them. Why? Because you are separate. You got to represent love so that that which is not of love in them can be exposed and revealed. So if a correction is made, which there is, it can be made. People hate to hear me say what I say about the church. They get so mad. They can't say, look at him talking about the church. I know it bothers them. I know it bothers them, but I got to say it. I got to say it. What do you think God felt when those people were going to the polls voting for evil? Well, God says you got your choice. That's what you want. That's what you do. So when I send a man and tell him about my way and you reject it, don't be here. I might laugh at him if you want to. But this, I want to tell you, that man gave his life up. And I want to tell you, as long as you are afraid to die, you will never live. And life will never begin for you until you overcome the fear of death. Because as long as you're afraid, there is an enemy of life. There's an enemy of God standing right in the middle of your mind. It ain't out there waiting. It's in your mind. Don't do that. Don't do that. That ain't right. They're going to get you. They're going to lock you up. Put you in jail. Put you in prison. I know. I've been there. I've been all these places. Standing up for the truth that God wants you to know that He is the only one that can meet your needs. He is the only one that can meet your wants. He is the only one that can meet your desires. But no, Trump can do it. Ain't that right, Republicans? Some Democrat can do that. Ain't that right, Democrats? Some man can do it, right? Look at what's going on with the wars across the world. All of these people suffering just like we are here in America. And our foreign policies is just as stupid as you can ever imagine. Take out guns and shoot people throwing rocks. Cut off this program for what? Because I'm mad and I'm the big shot and I can do it. I can cause you some pain. Don't you know everything that you're doing? People might fall in line for a while, but they got their eyes on you. You can't mess over people and hurt people and keep them down all the time and act like you God and think they're not plotting on you. And I don't care what bomb you build. Somebody blow that bomb up in your own country. Why are you building it? Stop being a fool, folks. Oh, well, that didn't make sense. If you knew better, you would do better. Now, let me see if I can summarize this. You see this tube? What is this? This says it's a clobetasol ointment. Little ointment you can put on, it's a little medication ointment you can put on an itch spot or something. You get bit by a spider or something else, you can put this little itch ointment on it. Look at this again. You know how much this costs? $445. How much you think it costs to make this? I mean, with the amount and this little bit, how much you think it costs to make? Pennies. But it costs $450. Why? Because some people need it. And so, I need to make my money. So you put a price on it. You hear people say, well, wages are going up. And you are so as blind as you can be because God ain't opened up your mind. You're not smart. You think you are. So you walk around and put $5 more in your pocket a week. But every time you go to the gas pump, you see the prices rising. You go to the store, all of the prices are rising. Everything is rising. So all of a sudden, that $5 extra that you bring in your pocket a month, a week, doesn't do anything. You'd rather throw that $5 away and go back to the prices as they were. Because even though the prices were raised, when at the gas pump, when those prices are raised, you still get 1 gallon of gas. You don't get no more. So don't think when you're getting a raise here on your job that they're not getting it right back. See, that's what blind people can't see. It takes the power of God to open up your eyes till you see it. And it takes a commitment to God to be able to do something about it. And what does God want you to do about it? To stand against it. There's nothing better that you can do but stand against it. And once you stand against it, if the need for gas is still there, it will present its own self. I'm telling you, my friend, it will present its own self. So all of this hate and all of this stuff that's going on in America, it's just a sign to let America know she was always fake. And I'm not talking about the news. I'm talking about the people. as fake as 1, 2, 3. Somebody right here down, now totally diss God. Totally diss God. We're going to kill him. We're going to be the baddest team on the block. Nobody's going to mess with us. Because I'm going to be so powerful. Tell Goliath that. You watch a little boy like, I'm not going to call it, might be a person like you. Rise up on that day, that glorious day when God grabs you and say, I need you, and qualifies you and send you out here, and you rock the world. But for me, hey, I consider myself victorious because I have overcome the fear of death. And the only thing that I fear that keeps me in question is that I have not done enough to free you from the fear of death before I go. But I can only do what I can do. So I say to you, ladies and gentlemen, politics is man's way saying I don't need God. Let me say it to you again. Politics is man's way of saying I don't need God. But a Christian is a person who has risen to the awareness that there is no way for life to live, or life to exist, or peace and prosperity and happiness. No way for all dreams to come true without God. That's what a Christian knows. And so the Christian champions it. The Christian stands up for it to make sure that all of that wonderful gifts and plans that God has promised his children, that he has promised his creation, are met. That's what the Christian does. He's not trying to divide based upon your color, based upon your gender, based upon your wealth. Hey, but that's what the devil does. And that's who the people of America are following. God ain't got nothing to do with it. So I'm going to tell you what I have told you. And with that, I'm going to say, I'm going to leave it alone because today I think I might go to somebody's church. I was thinking about such a great day to testify, but I don't even know if I'll do that. I might just go and sit down and watch. Just sit down and watch. Because ladies and gentlemen, to be frank, by me being ready to not be afraid of dying no more, I'm tired of talking. My vocal cords are messed up. I'm just tired of talking to people who can't hear a word I'm saying. I'm not mad with you. I'm not mad with you because I tell you, if I hadn't gave my life away when I was a boy. Now you say, how did you give your life away? As a boy, ladies and gentlemen, who could not swim. I went out into a middle of a lake with my intention to swim all the way across it. Never swam a day in my life. But I got out there. Why? I had no fear of death. And so a miracle happened to me that day. That miracle was either I learned how to swim on the moment, or an angel grabbed me and pulled me because he sure sent a snake over there to get me. A watermouth moccasin, ladies and gentlemen, in the water, where he can do his thing. And I can't even swim. But I outdid that snake that day. Oh. So that was a sign to let me know that God exists. But there was going to come a time when people are going to say, oh, you can do it anyway. All you had to do was be a positive thinker. Believe in yourself. You can achieve anything. And that might work. It might have even worked on me. But when God chose me, he wanted to make sure that a little thought like that wouldn't destroy me. And so, again, in the cotton fields, not out there putting my life on the line, out there trying to make $2 for a hard day's work, enjoying my day, probably dreaming about the future because I was still a young boy, still dreaming about the future. And all of a sudden, the fear overcame me, just like the sweat running down my face. And I couldn't move. I was basically paralyzed. Didn't know why, I just couldn't move. And all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, something else happened. That working utensil I had in my hand was dropped. Something turned me around and had me running and screaming. That wasn't me. I don't know what. It was me doing the person. But what caused it, I had no idea. Just that I had to do it, and it was done. When I came back to investigate, right where I was standing, another move would have put a cottonmouth moccasin right between my leg. And we don't know what kind of damage he could have done up in there. But I praise God, he didn't do nothing. So people can say what they want to say to me. I don't care what you say to me. I've seen the power of God save my life a couple of times. I ain't never seen the power of a human being save my life. All they want to do is to use and abuse and exploit. I've never seen nobody save Porter. There is a place for peace. There is a place for prosperity. There is a place for joy. I never heard nobody say that to me and tell me that it could be achieved in my lifetime. No, they tell me about I got to die. Well, I thought they meant, and just like you, that you got to go to the grave. But no, ladies and gentlemen, that message is not saying you got to go to the grave literally. It means you got to give up the fear of death. Because as long as you are afraid to die, there will always be a Donald Trump. There will always be a Hitler. There will always be a Stalin or Lenin or anybody else across the world that kills you because they think they got the right of the power. They will always be there. And so how can you protect yourself? How can you protect your family? How can you protect life when you're afraid by an enemy? Well, that's because you're not free. The devil is not our enemy. He's pretending. He's that tool that's being used to see if you're fake. He's that tool to be used to educate you about the truth of life and about what is real and what isn't. Oh, I thought I was gone. Yeah. Let me go ahead and leave y'all. I think you get my point. Oh, one other thing before I go. Now, you're going to go to the polls Tuesday. And you're going to vote for a Republican or a Democrat. You're not going to vote for what's right. You're going to vote for Republicanism or democracy or Democrats. You're not going to vote for what's right because you think Republicanism is right. You think democracyism or democratism, or whatever that word is right. They are not right, ladies and gentlemen. They're just opinions. You know what opinions are, don't you? You say, everybody got no opinion. That's why you hear people say, like Miss Oprah Winfrey said, there are thousands of ways to God. You can go from this way, go from this way, go from this way. Now, you can start out from that way, but you can all get on the same road, straight and narrow, before you go to God. And they call it love. What is love? Doing unto others as you'd have others to do unto you. If you can't do that, I don't care what they're telling you about the path you're on to God. They are lying. Did that word sound right? They are lying. Let me see. They are lying. So, ladies and gentlemen, you guys can go on now. Let me go ahead on and see if I can get some of the sweat off my head. Until next time, bye-bye.